Good evening, televiewers. You're welcome to another Prime edition on My Media Prime TV. This evening, we are going to be having an exclusive interview with one of Cameroon's political figures who is based out of Cameroon, but who runs a political party operating in Cameroon, in the person of Mr. Foligar Lang, who is the national president of the Cameroon Reformation Party. He was here twice on while campaigns were ongoing. He told us his vision for Cameroon and actually endorsed a candidate. We have gone through the election process and are awaiting the proclamation of the winner of these elections, expected to take place 2 days from now by the Constitutional Council, which is a competent instance to pronounce who the winner is. It is true that information is circulating across social media platforms on the percentages gotten by the respective political parties who took part in this year's elections, but we are going to be discussing with him on how he saw the campaigns and the elections are proper, and also revisit some of the proposals he made for Cameroon. Mr. Foligar Lang, we're glad to have you on My Media Prime TV, Prime R to be precise, once again.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be with you. Thank you.
How's it been?
No, it's been good. It's been good. Thank you.
Okay. You watched through the campaigns in Cameroon for the presidential elections. You are reading an appraisal.
Yes, I watched through. I participated in visiting some polling stations around Yaoundé, mostly Yaoundé 2. And then I checked around, I saw the activities that were going on. They were quite fantastic, but I cannot draw a conclusion of what happened or what will happen. Yeah.
Yes, but the campaigns in general, what actually is your appraisal of the way campaigns went through in Cameroon for these elections?
I am sorry to say this, but I think the voters never knew their candidates very well.
Okay.
They never knew their candidates very well. The window of campaign was very short. The time they have to campaign was very short. The time they want to introduce their candidates was very short. A 2 weeks window for a 7 years mandate is very short. So if it could have been a very long period so that voters can know their candidates very well, know who they are, what they do, what type of job they do, their earnings, their private life, and what their plans are, their goals, their achievements, many things, and what they want to give back to the people. That could have been very, very much better. But unfortunately, voters never knew a lot more about their candidates.
How do you say voters did not know their candidates when these parties, those who are taking part in these elections, have parties which have been existing for above 20, 30 years? We know that Cameroon runs above 300 parties. If Cameroonians did not know those running for elections, the candidates, whose fault is it? Is it the candidates who failed across the years to sell themselves? Were they expecting to sell themselves to the population only during the campaign period?
No, first of all, during the campaign period, it's a high time they have to sell. Then during the years, there are a bit of restrictions. You need to take permits from elected officials, DOs. You need to go to them and beg for time and see that I want to have a meeting here, indoor, outdoor. Those are restrictions that candidates and then even the leaders of the parties are going through. So those restrictions are so much difficult for us, the political party leaders. Then now, when it comes to period of elections, we got a very slim window, 2 weeks only, not even 1 month, not 2 months, 2 weeks. It is very insufficient for all the candidates to introduce themselves, even though we got about 300 parties in Cameroon. But remember that nobody knows all the lists of the party leaders and their names of the parties. So I don't know all the lists of political parties in Cameroon off by heart. And I think you don't know, and many other Cameroonians don't know who are those that are leading political parties in Cameroon. So we only sell ourselves during that period. You see, every time that we have elections, you got strange names that are coming up, strange leaders are coming up, different people that have never been in elections before, but they got political parties that have been for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. So the time is very, very short for Cameroonians to inquire and to request details about their leaders and to know exactly what the leaders have to say and what to give back to them. So that is one of the things that are challenging.
Yeah, but when you say the term was short, was any media organ short from political leaders? They had all the time to come and talk to the people through the various media organs. We have churches that are existing. We have markets. Why did they not use this opportunity?
No.
Do you need an authorization to just go to a church and say, "Thank God for bringing me to worship with you guys today"?
But we were talking about 25 to 30 million people.
Yes,
25 to 30 million people. And whatever we try to convince ourselves, most democratic societies will give a lengthy window. Maybe let's take an example in Kenya. We will have also a website that the government owns, or Elecam or MENAT, whoever controls elections, will have to publish the list of those candidates that are qualified, or even at the elementary stage where we are struggling to compile papers to be qualified. Once you deposit your paper, your name flags up in the system to everybody that uses the internet, government websites, Google search engines, and say this one person claims to be a candidate. Then somebody will put their hand up and say, no, I don't trust him. He used to damage things in school, in primary school, so I don't trust his behavior. And then that is the medium of selecting adequate and capable candidates for elections.
You endorsed a candidate during these campaigns. How did the campaigns go, and how did the elections also go?
No, at the moment, the results have been published. We've got elementary results.
Just to say that you endorsed Serge Spamatomba.
Yes. I endorsed, and never just, we had a coalition. So we accepted to work together on a basis of campaign and achievement and success and forming a government thereafter. So we worked together, we campaigned, we did a lot. We went as far as Maroa, Koseri, and all those areas, exploring down to Garoua, nearly half of the country, or 3/4 of the country. I did most of Northwest and Southwest, and Littoral, and I did part of Yaoundé with him. Then I did part of Bafoussam. So we did a lot of work, and we are just waiting for what will happen. But we know we have done our best for Cameroonians, and Cameroonians have done their best to select whoever is their candidate and whoever they want to run their government or to run the country for the next 7 years. So for that reason, we are just patiently waiting to see our outcome. We know the last presidential election, we had only about 0.56%. We are looking forward to see what improvement or what has happened over the days or the weeks that the election has taken place.
Now, there is a letter that came from you some days back.
Yes.
What was the content of the letter?
The letter that came, was it on the newspaper or that came straight to?
Yes, I received it.
From who?
From the Cameroon Reformation Party.
Yes, informing that there was one guy that was infiltrating the party and thinking that he's the leader. Is that the leader you're talking about?
No, concerning the elections.
Yeah.
Recognizing the victory of somebody, except you.
Oh, yeah. We did it. We accepted that with the elementary results, we have the right to recognize victory. Yeah, and we accepted the elementary results that were coming out, and we gave a letter of congratulations to Issa Chiroma with the details that have come out. So we accepted that he's won at that time. So we're still waiting forward to see the final congratulations to him when the
Constitutional Council. Yes, but what made you to come to make that outing?
Because we need to. In this country, we have got leaders of this country congratulating American president when the final result have not come out. So in so doing, we have the right to always do when somebody is winning in any situation, whether you score 1 goal, 2 goals, and then you finally somebody scores more, we have the right to congratulate at that stage.
Now, when you say data from the trends, because I'm sure you're talking from the trends, that you have received, you think that this is the person that may have won this election? Was that the position of the coalition, or strictly the position of the Cameroon Reformation Party?
That was strictly the position of Cameroon Reformation Party, looking distinctly from the trends and wishing to congratulate people or the person that is excelling during the trends.
Have you reached out to the person, or you just said you ended at the level of just writing the letter?
No, I have reached out to the person, but we have not had a proper conversation because they are busy. I wanted to tell him that I want to congratulate you at the level of the trend, and once the results are out, I will give you final congratulations if the officials are giving you the winning.
What is the general observation, and yes, the general observation you have of these elections of October the 12th?
The general observation are so many. The one most important observation is that Cameroonians never knew their candidates. Second, the window frame of campaign was very short. Third, the way of selecting the candidates was not democratic. And then the formalities of voting was very expensive and open to loopholes of fraud. Yeah, those were the things that we were observing. And then candidates never knew much about their voters, as well as giving them the promise of what they have to give back to them. Because they have not explored the country very much. They have not opened to the society that much. They just got a short window to start campaigning, and they don't have the ability to go to all and every village, town, city, and everything. So they just managed to deal within the largest cities and the rest of the places where they could touch. And then they could not even have the chance to represent in the polling stations. Even though I said concerns of representing at the polling stations should be democratic, should be neutral, it doesn't mean that if I own a party and they are making elections in this country based on democratic terms, then I have to be in every village or every polling station. If this is neutral and represents the voice of Cameroonians, unless otherwise they want to tell me that something funny is going on, that if to prevent something funny going on, I need to represent somebody there. But should I not represent anybody, I still need to get my results, because these polling polls are going to be neutral, meaning that the polling agents are neutral. They don't favor any party leader, they don't favor any party, and they don't favor anybody to win. But now we are having situations where people must represent in polling stations, 31,000 and above polling stations. It doesn't matter whether you represent or not, but you can still make a winning.
Okay, what actually could have justified the trends favoring the candidates you congratulated?
That is a very perfect question. We congratulate people with what has come up, sometimes on popular sides, sometimes on popular opinion. But popular opinion does not mean that the person has completely win, but it means that at that stage of congratulation, the popular opinion means that he is ahead. Yeah. So we send out our congratulation letter, depending on that strength.
Yeah, but if you are congratulating the person, it means that the trend shows that the population actually adopted this person. What may have caused this person to stand out from amongst the other candidates?
No, it doesn't mean that the population itself, but it means that at the level of the trend, if we are 10 million of us, at the level of the trend, we're trending at 6 million or 4 million or 2 million, and a candidate is winning at that level, I can say, okay, congratulations, my friend. If me and you are going in for something, and you are leading at the first 3 rounds or anything, people are still jumping up and they're happy. If they were just scoring goals in the field, and you score 1 goal, and people will be happy, they don't need to wait for the match to finish for them to be saying that, carry on, oh, thank you for doing your best. So those are the type of things that we are doing.
Do you think that some parties going by the trends and getting to the point where you are already congratulating a candidate, do you think the people now sanction some parties?
No, I don't think that they've decided to sanction due to the congratulations. I don't know what the outcome will be. From the date of congratulations, I've mellowed down not to overfollow what is going on. I've decided to just wait and see what will happen. At the end of the day, what will happen is what will happen, and that's what will come to stay. So there is no other alternative that I will have. But when we have followed the trend, we had a data collection system as well to see what information we gather and what we can say during that period. And when we see that somebody is winning for that time and the journey is only very short, for example, it's not even up to half of the journey or even a quarter of the journey, but we are so proud of the person, we have the right to say congratulations. And we think that many people have done so in this country. As I tell you, the president of this country have once congratulated Donald John Trump when the American officials have not published the elections. So congratulations means that you've chosen a side. It just means that the final side we will take will be on a date that the governing council or the
Constitutional
Council will announce the vote. Then that is when we will finally take our say. But we also preserve the right to follow the trend of our leaders that knows that when somebody is winning at an elementary stage or at the middle stage or at any stage of their capability, we can tell them congratulations.
Do you understand elections actually took place across all the regions, divisions and subdivisions of Cameroon on October the 12th, 2025 in yes, the locations I've just cited.
Yeah.
And after this, almost everybody is becoming a peace crusader. Do you understand where this is coming from?
I understand that because there was a lot of tension during the elections. Candidates and say Cameroonians and voters that are Cameroonians, most of them were very confused of who to follow. The candidates have not really marketed themselves. People know them less. Many of the Cameroonians don't know who they were voting for. And some of the votes were just going as a change of mind at the last minute. So we cannot know exactly what their choices were. And we cannot sit here and even conclude their choices and say they voted for the right person or for the wrong person. But at the time that they were going in, they were changing their minds along the way because they never knew those that they were voting for. And I still stand by that because the time frame and the window for campaign and introduction was very slim. So Cameroonians rampantly choose their choice. Now they have got a bit of tension about the choices they've taken. They are peacefully waiting for it in their own way. The only way to talk to them is that they should stay more peaceful and more calm and more quiet and wait for the results to come out.
Yes, they should wait. But why is almost everybody talking about peace? We have the paramount chief of Boya, who today has called on the people living in the city of Boya to stay calm and responsible. We have had a communique from the House of Chiefs for the Southwest region. We have had similar letter from the Association of Traditional Rulers in Cameroon, and so many persons we have from so many persons. Why is everybody now championing the crusade for peace?
I can say it's not everybody, but most people are championing the crusade for peace. And peace, as I said last time, can never be implemented. It can never be applied, but it can be implemented in a slow and polite manner. People need to make up their minds to be peaceful. People need to recognize a peaceful environment. People need to see that there is no trouble around. But we cannot force people to be in peace, but we have to give them the peace they deserve. So peace starts from the person that requests it and asks other people to be in peace. If I want Cameroonians to be in peace, as the political party leader or as a leader, I myself need to be in peace. I need to be peaceful so that they themselves, they need to recognize me and they need to see that their leaders are more peaceful and calm. So in this country, I want to pardon all the leaders, both political and civil societies and even educational, anywhere, that peace must not be implemented or imposed, but peace can be slowly applied. So the leaders themselves need to try to get peaceful characteristics, peaceful methods, peaceful ways of doing things, so that the rest of the public can follow them. So when we are leaders and we only clamoring for peace, but let us first of all show that we want to be peaceful in the things we do, in the policies we draw, in what we are saying, in what we are imposing, and the laws that we are giving. Most of the laws, are they safe? Are they effective? Are they applicable? Those are the laws and the parameters for peace. So if I am the leader of a political party in Cameroon, I cannot just impose a certain law. If I enact a law, I need to check that the law is safe and it's applicable, and it's safe, it's effective, and it can be accepted. Those are the 5 parameters for seeing that peace is accepted. But when people say it by mouth and maybe imposing certain things and sanctions, how can that peace be achieved? That is where I stand for. And that is what I've always stood for. And I want people to understand that as far as we are leaders, let us be doing peaceful things and giving laws that can be accepted and be applicable for peace.
Yeah. You say what you're saying is not too clear. The bishops say they want justice.
Yeah.
They want the voices of the people to be respected.
Yeah.
We had the bishop of Bafoussam.
Yeah.
We also have the bishop of the archbishop of the diocese of Bamenda.
Yeah.
Yes, the archbishop also says that the people voted.
Yeah.
At the end of the counting process, they were happy.
Yeah.
they went home happy.
Yeah.
They are expecting the Constitutional Council to
Obey.
tell them what they saw and lived.
But also remember that before the elections, when tides were high during that period of campaign, I heard some rumors, I never read it, that the bishops had a meeting and say better to have a devil to take over.
No, it is a one bishop who made that declaration, not the bishops.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But remember, I also told the same bishop that you preach the word of God and that the 7 devils were cast out of a human being and 7 devils entered. How come you come to demean Cameroon to be at the level where they are seeking for a devil? Cameroon has not arrived at that level. So that is what I said. But also, when we say that the voice of the people has been made, let everybody respect the voice at the end of the elections or the declaration elections. That is very logical. It's a logical statement. It's a statement where you cannot draw a conclusion very quick of what it means. It can mean so many things. So we all have voted here. There is a trend going around. This person have won, this person have lost, this person have taken. And then these bishops are following this trend. And then they're saying that Cameroonians have spoken.
The Archbishop of Bamenda Metropolitan Cathedral, we're talking about Archbishop Nkia. Actually, he was talking on behalf of the Episcopal Conference of the Bishops of Cameroon. And they say that they covered above 3,000 polling stations. So they are not just talking from trends. They lived the event. They are talking from reports they got from the ground.
So they have data, they have full data of the elections. So they have capabilities to pronounce an election. They have information of who has won and who hasn't won. So it should have been them telling the person directly that we got information here that because we've covered about 30-something thousand polling stations, we think that this person have won.
No, but it is not. They have to follow. They have to respect the Constitution because the Constitution says that it is the Constitutional Council. We have the vote, the National Vote Counting Commission, that is supposed to have received the votes from all the regions. They are now tallying the votes. They finished working yesterday, and I'm sure the bishops are just trying to be Republican, because after the tallying of the votes by the National Vote Counting Commission, it is now handed to the Constitutional Council, which is the competent authority to proclaim this.
So now we're not saying that the college.
But the bishops were simply reminding these authorities that, okay, you guys are the legal framework or instances to handle this. But we just wish to make you understand that we observed this, and what we observed, the people are expecting that what is going to come out from what you're going to be reading should reflect what the people express.
But now they could have acted on opinion polls. In other countries, we got independent, like in the UK, America, and the rest, we got opinion polls, which means that their results are never final, but they are always close to finals. If they had managed to cover 31,000 polling stations, 30,000, for example, polling stations, it means their opinion counts, but they don't have the legal right, but their information is near to 100% of the voting stations, which okay, so now they have to at least have all the details of the polling stations. They take 30,000 of them. They have all the lists of what is happening. They know exactly what to clear. So now, in my own side, I think that the bishop has details that can match with that of the Constitutional Council, and these details are correct, and they should tell the Constitutional Council that, oh, we have details here for about 30,000 polling stations, and so we know that this person, according to our opinion, of which we don't have the legal right to say anything, this is what we have in our archives, and then we can then publish it also according to our opinion. That is what I think. And notwithstanding, we at the Cameroon Reformation Party, we did have data. We never had data of 31,000 polling stations or more, but we had details of other stations and other trains that were moving in and out, and we know exactly that the elections have not been 100% democratic, but not fully covered by the candidates on all the 31 polling stations, but they should have been something very neutral, very, very neutral, that even if you don't cover any polling stations, you can still have your records of the vote correct with no bias.
Okay.
And that is exactly what I think it should have been happening.
Okay, if you're watching the program, our guest for tonight's edition of the program is Mr. Foligar Lang, who is the president, national president of the Cameroon Reformation Party. We are discussing on the elections that took place in Cameroon on October the 12th, 2025, and we are expecting the release of the winner of the elections, presidential elections of Cameroon. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I wish to appreciate your program. How can the man in the studio say the people didn't know the candidate? Does it mean that voted without knowing who they were voting for? This is not true. I'm sure that's not what he means. You don't mean that the people did not know that they knew them.
No, they knew them, but they never knew their manifesto. They never knew the details of what they are campaigning for, what they want to offer, what they want to give back to Cameroonians, what they want to change, the change they want to actually give back, and their policies, their party policies, and many other things, and their accountability of what they've been doing in their life, many other things. You know, when you're a public figure, like a presidential candidate, there are lots of things that, before they vote for you, people need to get to know those things that you stand for. Yeah, that is what I mean. I mean what these political party leaders, that were presidential candidates, what they stand for.
When you look at the way people went out for campaigns and adopting candidates, do you have the impression that Cameroonians were really interested in knowing the respective political offers by different political parties? Were they really interested in that?
We cannot generalize. We're talking about 30-something or 25 million people. So there are some people that have only campaigned in areas that, if you sum up, is not up to 5 million in general. If you sum up, some people have not campaigned up to 10 million, 15 million, 30 million. So that is where we draw an imperative conclusion that some Cameroonians never knew a lot about their candidates. Because some people have campaigned in various areas, some have formed coalitions, some have come in with consensus candidates, and some have supported other candidates, and some have endorsed. But did Cameroonians really got time to ask questions of conformity to each and every candidate as they are asking to me now? Because they are now asking me a question and I'm answering. There were many of those such questions that could have been asked even prior or before. But these questions were never asked. But we have gone into elections. That's why I'm saying that in a civilized democracy, you give a long period so that candidates get questions asked. They get answers to those questions before, and they make up their minds carefully. It is not a mind of getting something that give me t-shirt, give me a cap, give me a membership card. It is questions that will help them for the next 7 years that they need to ask. So most of these were not really taken, most of this was not asked by Cameroonians, most of the candidates. But most of the candidates still carry on campaigning and giving veto, endorsing, and then even doing many other things. But there were many questions to be asked. Let me tell you now that Elecam know this, what I'm saying, they know. They know that given that short window, it doesn't give these voters priority of what their interest is based on for the next 7 years. And what is the reason of just giving 2 weeks campaign period? I know you've asked about, you told me about the church, where they can campaign, where they can introduce themselves, but we are talking about a country with a vast arena of land, starting back right down from Frowa, going down to Kosere, is about 3 days transport in the vehicle. So it's not easy if you want to do, but you need to give a long window so people can move, and they can really move around the country flexibly and meet up with those candidates wherever they can meet. They are meeting groups, and having rallies, open doors, and having indoors, churches, cultural events, football groups, and many other things. There was not enough time for such campaign, for somebody that's going to take decisions over people for 7 years, to have 2 weeks campaign window. That's what I mean. And I think that his question has been answered.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Liu. Can your panelists help us to try to be frank in his true mind can accept that the number of voters declared to have voted in most areas in the northwest and southwest regions, because I am embarrassed with his super political defense. Emmanuel is writing from Akumba. Are you very comfortable with the figures you are seeing coming out from the southwest and northwest regions? We have the figures. You can't also claim that you have not seen them.
I have seen the figures. I have seen the figures. But what baffles me within these areas, because even myself, I come from these areas, my campaign was a bit limited because there was restrictions and that we cannot move freely, we cannot do many things. So when it comes to those figures there, I have less to say, because I went to Bamenda and I only remained in some certain locations because I could not move in more flexibly like others could do. Some were going with security tight on them, but I was going as a Cameroonian that wants Cameroonians to get oxygen that they have to breathe. So but I was restricted with lockdowns and all those movements and the fear of many things. So I went to Southwest, I went to Mutengen, I went to Tiko, I went to Boya, I went to Bimba, but a bit.
You were in Kumba?
I went to Kumba before, and I went to Kumba not for campaign. I went to just cheer up my popularity by then. Yeah.
Yes, but have you seen the figures coming from the northwest?
I've seen elementary figures. I know the total for southwest and northwest, 7 point something percent and 6 point something percent. Northwest total voting for the 800,000 is about 7 point something percent, and southwest about 600 something thousand, making about 6 or 5%. We have looked at those outcomes, but we have not sat on them because of what I knew that was restricting me myself. That I come from there, but I could not campaign there.
Yes, but are you comfortable with this figure? Do you believe how real is it?
I don't want to go deep into their comfortability, into their comfort zones, because they already got restrictions of movement there and many things. I cannot say whether who won there or who never won, but I know that all of us that never participated firmly on that area, anybody can win. So I've seen that some of the areas, Chiroma is far ahead. Some areas,
in both the northwest and southwest, it is the president of the republic who is winning overwhelmingly.
But in my village, where I tried to reach there before the elections, the whole place was claimed by SDF. Yeah, in where I come from, the Fungom subdivision, the whole thing was cleared by SDF. But then now some is showing that Paul Biya is heading everyone there. But I have been to Balimeda. I saw the agitation. I saw how much people were cheering up, even for Chiroma. I can't lie, but I saw how much people were, when I was driving from Bamenda all the way Santa and the rest. It was not normal. Bikes, everybody was cheering, but I can't draw a very general conclusion of what will happen. We just need to put our fingers crossed and see that let the results that are going to come out when they announce the result officially, let us believe that it's genuine. But even though we don't know what it will be, but let us believe that it should be genuine.
Everybody was cheering for who?
FNC.
For you?
It's a Chiroma.
Okay, everybody was cheering for FSNC.
FSNC, yeah.
Yes, I had a program here where some persons wrote from Libialem and other programs and other areas, and they said it is striking that FSNC never came to their respective localities, but they are winning. How do you explain this?
That's why I'm saying that Cameroonians voted, but they never knew their leaders very well. So people have voted for people they don't know. If I've not been to your place, I've not given you my manifesto, I've not showed you what I stand for, I've not told you what I will do for you, then you voted for me. Then that is one thing. But fortunate enough, I think I've got rumors from there because we got a system that we get some basic information as I've told you from Libialem. I know they were more or less very interested for Chiroma, according to our trends, that they were interested for Chiroma to win. They never cared for anything to happen. They just wanted that somebody new should come. When I phoned up and spoke to one or two people, they say, we don't care. We just want that something new should happen to this republic.
Is it that you did not know the manifesto of Issa Chiroma, or the fact that there was known? Because before going for elections, he put out an 11th pillar, a program on which his government was going to stand on. But when the Union for Change actually came up with a transitional government, they proposed to all the political parties, and seemingly it is Issa Chiroma Bakari who received and said, I was ready to go for this 3 or 5 years transition, and the transition clearly defines how they are going to work.
I accept. We saw those documents, we saw those 11 points, but we're now talking about the time frame of digesting them, taking them down, understanding them. Time frame needs to take place, and then understanding why he comes back and says sorry to the people. Yeah, when you come back to say sorry, was it only because you want to be the president, or is because you've seen something new? Why now? Why not last year, and then coming back to say sorry for both Anglophone and Southwest and Northwest, and then staying just jobless, and then coming back now and say, I want to be president? That could have been better, for example. Yeah, but why now, just a couple of days or a couple of weeks or a month away from the president, you resign and go back to say apologies? I have given him a letter of congratulations. I'm so impressed that he has come in and do so well, so excellent in these elections. I only want to pray that the Constitutional Council should be very honest and give Cameroon a very nice breath to give the genuine winner of these elections. And that is only what we at the Cameroon Reformation Party want.
Okay, so many questions have come in. I hope you have time to
answer.
I hope you have time to answer some of the questions. But at the level of the Cameroon Reformation Party, what can you boast of as contribution to what has happened so far?
We've done a lot. I think that's one of the best parties. We got one of the best manifestos to Cameroonians. We've announced our manifesto so many times on the videos. I've spoken widely in media groups to explain what I can offer. And what we can offer is different from what nobody has ever seen. And even anybody could ask you a question to say, let me just count on 5 good things that we think we could do, that they will be happy and more than happy than anybody else in the planet. We will list them, and they're so simple to achieve. We have explored so many places. We have been to most villages, and some villages are offering us even piece of land to open our offices there, depending on what we have offered to them or to even talk to them. We have got leaders that representing us now in so many divisions and so many other subdivisions and other villages. So we are touching bases, we are touching people's minds, and we're speaking genuinely. We creating ideas, we empowering Cameroonians in many other things, and talking to them how they can cope in their even day-to-day life. We've supported them to even look into the way that we are living, the survival of the fittest lifestyle that the regime has created to us for the past 42 years, that you need to be strong in order to eat, or you need to be a strong man eats first before a weak man. We have told them that we are all one. When you are weak, it's not your fault. So we should all deal together, that when you have a chance, you give peace to another person, so that we could feel equal. We've been giving these doctrines to many. I'm just coming back from Mutengene, where I'm building the school. We have planned to even give them even a small nice tournament to where I grew up, where they could play and achieve even a 1 million. I've done a 1.5 million tournament somewhere else, which I've never worked with the government. We are even making plans to give the best science students for faculty division, chemistry, physics, biology, geography, chemistry, physics, biology, mathematics. For the best 4 who will come first will get a very sumptuous amount of money. So this is inspiration. So the Cameroon Reformation Party is doing one of the best jobs that no political party in this country has done or is even dreaming to do. If you ask one of the people asking the questions to ask me to list even 1 or 2 or 3 things, then they will know that we have a vision that is so wide, and that is why we're inspiring our youth in Cameroon for a mission, a vision, a mission, and imagination for their generation, so that they can grow quicker and enjoy their lives as youths.
Okay, let me take some of the questions from our viewers. They have so many questions for you, Mr. Lang Foligar.
Yep.
This one says, good evening, Mr. Leo. I'm Mary writing from Bamenda. Mr. Foligar Lang seems to be hiding something. He's not expressing himself like an opposition somebody, okay? Mr. Leo, good evening. I wish to know if that man is really an opposition leader. He's dodging from some questions, okay? Good evening, Mr. Leo. Mr. Lang is correct. Many Cameroonians did not know most of the candidates well. The youths were more interested in change than the manifesto or the candidates. Second, in a country where political debate is absent, it's not done, the candidates are less exposed. Thirdly, the candidates started touring very late. Dear Mr. Leo, do not make reference to cooked results. Biat did not lead in Bamenda. Kwan Jacob is writing from Bamenda. I'm not saying that, I'm saying what we are reading from the circulating information. This one says, why are we running away from addressing the root causes? We are giving palliative care than intensive care. Can you succeed in solving a problem without addressing the root causes? We are not serious when we hinge on peace. If from every indication it's true that the people's victory is stolen, what is it you are saying, talking to the people to calm down? Are you helping the situation or covering wrong? Let me hear from the solutions from our panelists.
First of all, the first guy who said I'm hiding something, there's nothing to hide.
Okay.
I've been so much outspoken in the Cameroon community. I think I'm one of the most outspoken politicians during this year. I've spoken a lot, and I've spoken much about the government. I've even corrected the government's mistakes. I've requested toll gates to be removed, and they are not doing it. I've said so many things that are so much in favor of Cameroonians and even young Cameroonians. There's nothing to hide. When it comes to elections, I come from a civilized part of the world. I've been traveling to about 41 countries, so I know many things about elections. Elections have caught me short in Cyprus. Elections have caught me short in Turkey. Elections have met me in the UK. Elections have met me in Germany and so many other countries, even in France. So we have seen where people make choices of elections. And when it comes to elections, the only thing we will say here that we are not hiding is that we've got a centralized system. We don't have an open society. So in this centralized system, the government holds things very tight towards them. Proclaiming elections is the government's right and the Constitutional Council's right, which is a member of this Cameroon People Democratic Movement. So it is not a neutral entity created from a civil society or from any board that has gone from volunteers of saying when elections holds in Cameroon like they do, maybe even in France, which is the same system we're managing in this country, they will get neutral bodies to manage that elections. Cameroon has changed the names of electoral bodies twice. We were in Onel. When they will mess up in Onel, they will come to Elekam. When they will mess up Elekam, they will come with something new. I've spoken about this, so there's nothing to hide. But the only thing at this juncture we have to know is that let's persevere and wait and see what will happen. It is not Mr. Lang that will carry the votes and give to another body. Even if I say here that Paul Biya has won or not win, or Jeroma has won, or myself have won with Sech Espoir Matomba, it will change nothing from what the Constitutional Council holds. You understand what I mean? So the only way to do as Cameroonians is to see where the centralized body that runs the elections will make the decision of the elections in this country. We should wait and see what they will tell us. And there's not much I can do.
Okay, there's not much you can do. This one says that good evening, Mr. Leo. Please ask him if the results are twisted, what will they do? This is the maker who is watching us from Boya, and the other one says, good evening, Mr. Leo. I'm blessed from Limbe. Please, sir, why is it that the Cameroon government is not making any statement with regards to the electoral fraud, but only interested in preaching peace?
The first person, we have the right to denounce elections in our party, according to the party constitution, and even according to the constitution of this country. If I'm not satisfied with the elections and the results comes out, I have the right to denounce it. So we can write and say, we thank you for your results of the elections, but unfortunately, we denounce that the results are not fair due to these facts that we have. So we need to have credible facts that can make us to denounce the elections. Yes, so we can denounce. The next question was?
The next question has to do with, please, sir, why is the government not making any statement with regards to electoral fraud, but only interested in preaching peace? Did you watch the cases of electoral malpractices as distributed or circulated across social media handles?
Yes, there's lots of electoral malpractices, but we know that there are so many circumstances of election malpractices in this country, even during these elections. We know that petitions have been sent out and sent back to the Constitutional Council. That, like SDF has sent a petition, many other organizations have sent a petition, Cabral has sent a petition, and which means that when there are so many petitions in an election, it means that the elections is not democratic. So that is what we know. When there are no petitions and people are happy, and the preach of peace only comes during elections. We have been in many other countries. I've been to Kenya where there are elections, And people are just moving on with their day-to-day life because they trust the elections. They trust the government, the Constitutional Council that will announce the elections. They know that what they will say is what they have done. But here, when they start preaching that peace and peace and peace, when nobody is breaking anything, nobody is causing any violence, even though there have been some synopses of violence, like in Chang and other places, which we denounce that it is not fair when you transfer aggression to properties of the state. Do not transfer aggressions to anyone and any property of the state, but you have the right to vehemently make yourself known with what you are not happy in democratic society. But you cannot transfer aggression. So we can't do that much. Everybody knows that in this country, it is a centralized system that the government got an upper hand on anything that we're doing in everyday's life. But unfortunately, we have nothing to do because everybody that works in this country must be a partner of the government. Whether it's a renowned business, whether it is a DO appointed by the government, whether it's a minister, all those people make choices because they got the power and an upper hand on behalf of the people. So we have not got a neutral system. That's where we cannot do anything further.
What do you mean by you don't have a neutral system?
A neutral system is a system where it comes to public decision making, like elections. It doesn't need to belong to anybody. The Minister of Territorial Administration have nothing to do with elections. In any civilized society, for example, I have nothing to do with elections, and who works at the polling stations. We have nothing to do. We need to carefully, randomly select some bona fide, genuine Cameroonians that have never committed any crime, that are very, very difficult to be corrupted, and so much stern and ready to support this country. This is usually done randomly from civil society to professors, lecturers, teachers, and some people working in some very disciplined departments to volunteer and stand and control the elections and come out with the results with no bias. But in Cameroon, we need to send it to a constitutional council that is a government department and is appointed by the person that is an incumbent. What can I do? I can't do nothing.
Okay. I hope that it is clear what he is saying. But before now, you came up with a government.
Yes.
A proposed government of the Reformation.
Yeah.
What inspired the collection of these personalities to form a government that was supposed to be headed by you?
I got the government in my phone here, and that's the most powerful government that could run this country, that could help this country. We carefully looked into this, something that's never happened in this country, in the history of the country, to come up with a shadow cabinet that we have to embrace, and it has to work for Cameroonians. We touch every political organization. We touch every part of Cameroon. We touch most of the tribes. We touch most of the divisions. We touch most of the regions. We synchronize from the civil society. We looked at every detail of what is wrong in the country, who is professional in what domain, in agriculture, in economics, in finance, in management, in construction, in so many things that works within this society. We carefully took a lot of time to look into, because we love this country within the Cameroon Reformation Party. So we tabled out our shadow cabinet, and the shadow cabinet consists of all these, most political parties, and most of them are candidates. That is a good thing you need to see. Issa Chiroma was foreign minister in my cabinet, and he is a candidate. Muna was minister of justice in my cabinet, and he is a candidate. Agbobala was there, and he is a candidate. He is not a candidate, but most of them were candidates. And even Frank Biya was a candidate from the CPDM. We carefully looked into that, leaving no party out that is influential in decision making in this country. And we had a dream that this is how this country will unite, and this is how this country will properly be managed, and this is how this country would reduce the number of political parties registered. And this is how this country will create various camps of political campaigns in the future elections. And this is how this country will reduce the political term or the presidential term from 7 years to 4 years mandate. And so this was one of the best things we could offer for this country. And we know that whatever they do, they are going to come back to this shadow cabinet, and they will use it whoever wins, whether it's Paul Biya who wins, whether it's Issa Chiroma who wins, whether it's Ateki, whoever, Kwemo, and the rest, even Sesh Matumba, they will fall down to my shadow cabinet. The only difference in the cabinet is that I am not going to have any government position, and I'm happy for it. Once they use my dream, good days for Cameroonians, and I can remain back and watch it happen. And Cameroonians are happy, and their government is running well, and they are contented with it, and I'm so proud of them. So I am the only Cameroonian political party that has visioned Cameroon with a united opposition. And that's why I tabled out the shadow cabinet. And it has proven that all of the candidates that were taken for the 12 candidates, 8 of them, and even 9, are ministers in that cabinet, meaning that that was a uniting force for these elections.
Okay, that's a united force. Are you saying that this should be the blueprint for whosoever wins? How important is that going to?
This is a template. This is a template. It came out with prolific information, some very tangible information on how to run this government when it comes out. And I even cut it short that a child in this country below 12 years, any child below 12 years should have free medical service for the first 8 years that we run this government. Free medical service for a child below 12 years. So nobody will pay medical services for a child that is below 12 years. How is it sounding to you? This is something that the CBDN should buy from me, not buying with money, should welcome. This is something that any other political party should welcome. And this is something I even said that a child below 12 years should be able to have one meal in school when he goes to primary school. Because it is very difficult for these children to stay all the whole day in school waiting that they should carry food and go. So the government can support them with 1 square meal, but they are just minors. They cannot stay 8 hours away from their house and stay without having support for food. In that government, I said that when you detain anybody, anywhere you detain anybody, whether it's in the police cell or in the gendarmerie brigade, you have to give that person food. So the gendarmerie need to be sure before they locking somebody in, the person has to eat and drink water that is clean. Is that not sounding for a very democratic society? So those are the things that we came out. I also corrected that the one last thing that will happen is that no village, no tribe, no region will have the capital that is only owned by them. So we're removing the capital from Yaoundé and we're cutting across 5 regions: Northwest, Southwest, West, Littoral, and Central. And we're forming a capital region there and a brand new capital city, so that it reflects its Cameroonian, which means that we got 10 regions with about 200 and something language, but we now got one capital that has 5 regions and with more than 50 languages or 25 languages. That reflects Cameroon in particular. Okay. That is why they needed my shadow cabinet, and they need it, and they need this advice to run this country democratically, very peacefully, and they will never demand peace from Cameroonians. Cameroonians will give them peace.
Okay. Somebody is asking, good evening, Mr. Kum LEONARD and Mr. Foligar Lang. Please ask him why he endorsed Serge Matumba over Issa Chiroma. The result of the outcome of the election, whatsoever the opposition, is the cause. What does he have to say? Alfred is writing from Ekondo Titi.
Yeah, thank you from Ekondo Titi, young gentleman, or it's a lady. I endorsed, first of all, before we do coalition, if Issa Chiroma wanted to do coalition with us, or I wanted, we need accountability in coalitions. In politics, when you coalite, you ask pertinent questions to your partner. These questions have never been answered, even in any coalition in Cameroon. We accepted certain things in our manifesto. I am stating for a Cameroon that is federal, for example. He wants a Cameroon that is united. So we need to give and take in certain things to see that they accept my opinion. So most of other political parties could not have accepted most of the things that I was asking on behalf of Cameroonians that were so crucial. So if I go with Serge Matumba, it means that he's accepted my certain things. Just look into healthcare. I offered him a Cameroon Health Bureau, and I told him in our manifesto in Cameroon Reformation Party, every Cameroonian will have access to a medical doctor wherever they are, which means that we have a Cameroon Health Bureau with a database that governs all patients in this country in a central system, and that any doctor will go into any suburb that a child will be having access, and that a child of 12 years downward have free medical service. How many of them could accept those offers when I stand on behalf of my people? So that's why I choose Espa Matomba. When he began to accept certain strong things that most political party leaders don't want to give to Cameroonians, and that are very important for this country and for peace and for the health and the well-being of this country. And I offered these things and people accepted. And that's why I endorse him. And there are so many other things that I requested. Removal of toll gates. You cannot scrap your cars in a bad road and you're paying for the scrapping of the cars. I told him that the first thing we need to remove toll gates. Closing down of Enam. We don't want Enam to exist. We want to merge it with the universities. Whether it's University of Yaoundé or it's University of Boya, Chang, Maroa, Douala, and any other universities, we split up the various departments and merge them into the universities so that Cameroonians should come up in an equal society where anybody have right to study administration at the level that they are appointing him a divisional officer or a governor.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So many questions are there for you. Eh?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes. Okay. This one says, good evening to you guys in the studio. Mr. Foligar, the problem with Cameroon electoral system is the multi-party system. If we can abolish this and put just maximum 4 candidates from every presidential election, only then can we have the Cameroon we need. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Your guest is not answering your questions the way you put them. Okay, good evening, Mr. Leo. Your panelist agrees that there is no neutral electoral system in Cameroon, and at the same time saying we should accept whatever the results are from these non-neutral bodies. Isn't
I've not said they should accept. I've just said I have nothing to do. I can't do more than what I can do. But the officials have taken the elections into their hands because they got authority over everything. But what can I do? That's what I said.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Leo. I'm Yannick from Boya. I wish to ask why the Minister of Territorial Administration said the election will be like a football game with the winner known. Okay, yes, the minister is not here, so I cannot ask him that question. But you guys have gone and you are looking forward to the results.
Yes. Could be requesting that they should happen immediately. I should be requesting. So I am not a full candidate. I am just an ally to a candidate. But we notice irregularities. We've seen trends. We've seen so many things happening. We drove around the country. We drove around the cities. We drove around the polling stations during the day. I drove from here to Bamenda, just driving and monitoring and seeing things, not monitoring elections, but seeing activities. People portraying what they want, who they want, and what they will do during the election day. And we walk down around Yaoundé and see what was happening. We know that there were irregularities in the elections, counting irregularities, and writing down the reporting irregularities. We know some irregularities happen, but being just a normal ally to a candidate, I have not a lot to say.
You have a lot to say?
I have not.
Okay, you have nothing to say.
Yeah.
You had, you say you went around, you listened to what people were saying, and what they wanted. What did they say? What did they want?
No, people were already, by the time the pollings were closing, most people were not happy with what was going on. I was not at that point allowed into the polls, but I was around. In some of them, we just drove from one poll to another and seeing that people are not happy. Oh, we need to count this. Oh, we cannot do this. And I even got images sent to my phone from other places during that day of dead people. I went to a polling station in Yaoundé, in Meyeme. Then some lady came there, some of them came and said, oh, come down to the snack and let's get a drink. I said, no, I can't drink because I am here for a mission. Then there was a commissioner that was coming from my village. Yeah, then we saw his name on the list. You see, we saw his name on the list and the picture was there. But he passed away, not 1 year, not 2 years, 3 years ago. You see, yes. Then I saw a friend text me from Limbe. I got the picture and said, I saw my friend who has passed away. I said, how many years? He said, 4 years. I got the message here. I can read it out to you, and I can show you the image.
It's okay, just yeah.
So those are what we noticed, that some people that have passed away have been voting.
No, their names actually featured on
there.
The list, yeah.
Yes.
Electoral.
But
list,
if their name featured,
yes,
we don't know what will happen later, because that's why the grudges, the arguments, the shouting in polling stations, and all that during the tallying brought those confusions. That why will I see somebody here who is not? Why do you take this name that the person is not here? That's where in my four, where one of my agents was, he was so aggressive. I said, no, just leave it. You don't need to be aggressive in a polling station.
So during these elections, your party endorsed Serge Matumba. We already have an idea on what the results are. What happens after this for the Cameroon Reformation Party?
What happens now, we wait for the result, we draw our conclusion, we see how much we've given him, the support that we've given him, the image we've portrayed, the policies we've doctrined him for the past 3 years he's been candidate. Then we look into that, then we draw our conclusions, because we're waiting for the big ones. The big ones are the mayor, that's the council, and the parliamentary. So those are our big, and by then we are going by ourselves and we're not needing any ally.
Okay, so the Cameroon Reformation Party is going for municipal and parliamentary elections.
Yes, yes.
This is an announcement that you are making even before the release of the presidential elections. Results in Cameroon. Where is your party going to be running for this election?
We want to cover as more as we can do, even as far as Garo and Gaundiri Maro and the rest. We have very important things to give to this country. We see more than everybody else. We wish that we could see how much we see and how much we prepare to help the people, and what we have done in our lives with our meager earning to people. Then what if we were working for them? Then what we will do? So we want to do such better things for them. So that's why we don't want to leave out any part of Cameroon to remain in difficulties. When others are leaking honey and milk, others will be lamenting other bad conditions. So it is time for them to start inviting us to come to their localities and install our offices or install our bureaus and our management team, so that they can prepare now for council and parliamentary to get right decisions, and then be sure that even by the time the president comes back, we can give what we want to give them fully.
Yes. What do you suggest should be done to those caught in electoral malpractices?
When electoral malpractice is a crime, and it doesn't only limit there, it is a criminal offense, it is even a human right offense. It's a bad thing to be doing offense of elections. You're putting somebody in power where he's not elected, somebody that has every power on top of everybody in the country. So it's a very bad thing. So for me, they need to carefully look at them and bring them out into the public, so people should know, have the list, and they should create a list of offenses. They should go down into history as they have created terrible offense in Cameroon. So we should know that these are criminals and they should face jail terms for that crimes. So those crimes can be even termed as crimes against humanity, because we don't know what the next president of Cameroon will do to Cameroonians if they have not voted for him.
Now, almost everybody is talking, majority of the persons are calling for peace. I don't know. So many quarters are calling for peace today, because I've seen one or two instances of violence. Everybody say we don't want violence.
No,
but
we don't.
Let me come. But we saw the social media was awash with videos of people involved in electoral malpractice. Were you shocked that we have not heard the clergy, we've not heard traditional authorities, we have not heard elites, we've not heard persons like you come out openly to denounce this?
Yeah, I'm just driving back from Mutengene. When I was driving, that's when I saw some videos. Then I showed my brother, before I say anything, I got my system, I need to pass those videos to show that they're credible. They're actually been taken from a camera or a phone, because some of this artificial intelligence now in the country is predominantly misleading Cameroonians. So if you don't investigate something properly, do not be part of it, saying it. So I said, as I'm going back home after the interview, I will have to pass this video over my system, and it will tell me exactly that this is something that is real in real life. Then from there, we can begin to denounce them, or we can begin to say, but as far as peace is concerned, people don't call for peace. I've never heard anybody from a civilized country calling for peace. Peace is applied, it's not imposed. You don't impose peace over the people. You do things that are peaceful. You make policies that are peaceful. You carry out peaceful activities, and then everybody becomes peaceful. But when you are imposing peace, it means that you yourself asking for that peace, you've done something wrong. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kum and the panelists. We are in the 21st century, and distance is not a barrier for the information. You must not go to the most interior places before passing your message. I think the 2 weeks were enough. Presidential campaign is over. You can reserve, campaigns for something. But do you think, what is your net appraisal of the work done so far by Elekam?
Elekam should have been neutral.
Okay.
We have pleaded for them to be neutral, extremely neutral. It shouldn't be influenced by anybody. The laws of the Elekam should stay put. If they request that every candidate should come in person and deposit their application, the candidate needs to be there, whether you are incumbent or you are not incumbent. That is one breach of Elekam. That is faulty. Then the second thing is that when you're going in to vote at the polling station, at the polls to put in your ballot or to make your choice in that small shed, you need to be there on your own. If you need support, you need to say you need support. And if anybody needs support, that is a candidate. Then the candidate is automatically disqualified. For if you need support and you want to support Cameroonians as the leader of Cameroon, then how is Cameroon going to go ahead? I think you understand the logic. So if I need support and I want to be president of this country and I need support to just cast my vote, how am I going to help Cameroonians? If I'm incapable to make my decisions on my own, to select a ballot on my own, how am I going to help my people? Yeah, so those are the defaults of Elekam. Then it is not neutral. Every now and then the minister moves in and out of Elekam. Every now and then the minister makes speeches and calls on Elekam.
Yeah, but the minister is talking in his office as Minister of Territorial Administration. I'm not sure he's making statements as Elekam. No. There is a clear distinction when he talks as Minad boss. We are confusing something here.
No, I'm not confusing anything. Elekam is not decentralized. It's centralized within them. And it shows from his speeches and other things that he does that Elekam is part of his department, which is not correct. You see how things are managed in this country. They are not managed correctly. They are managed in a way that people get power on top of other people. People should not have got power over people. When people run things, they should have neutral bodies that investigate them. You see, like I'm opening my school in Motangene. You will have a director of the institute, but you have a governor of the institute that governs the teachers, the parents, and the director of the school. When the board of governors or seats or the board seats, the governor will be the one to talk. So everybody has to look up to the governor. Meanwhile, the director is there. So we create neutral bodies in order that there should be transparency. We create neutral bodies in order that people should be very happy within their country. We create neutral bodies that people should not be imposed in what they have to do, but should follow the rule of law. And when there is law and there is imposition, it means that the law is abrogated. The law has not worked. So something needs to be done. And that is what is happening. And that's what I'm saying. And that is what I'm answering the questions of those that are requesting. And that's part of the thing I'm saying, that to know your candidate, you need to take a very long time to know them. You need to take even a year. You need to be able to ask them personal questions. You need to ask them, do you have children? What is your child doing? What business is your child? But if you are dismissed to be minister tomorrow, do you have any business in this country that you can live with it? Those are the things that we have to do. But when we're not doing them and we're imposing within ourselves that as it's there, we just want somebody to take over, then that's fine. We'll be swimming around to this type of imposition of decision and decrees. At any time of the day, there's a decree signed upon each one of us.
Okay, a decree is signed for each one of us. Okay, again, we love those are clamoring for you're going to be running for municipal and parliamentary elections in Cameroon.
Yeah.
That is what you say.
Yeah.
Yes. What is the difference you think you can bring away from what updates are today?
First of all, the bills that are signed in Parliament, accountability. Yeah, if we are in Parliament, there must be accountability. Lots of the billions and billions. The contracts they do, Some of them are good contracts, but they do them very wrong. They don't even achieve them. They do roads today, the road gets passed tomorrow. They build a school today, the school rottens down tomorrow. And all of them are in one shape. There's no contemporary form of reasoning. There's no contemporary form of construction. There's no contemporary form of how government does its things. They got just one powerful formula in doing one thing. One style of building roads, one style of building primary school, one style of building secondary school, one style of building prisons, one style of doing... We're coming in with contemporary concepts. So the things should show that our mind is changing over the time and good things are happening and we are learning from our past errors. That when you build today and the road gets broken, who built it? How do you build it? Where is the money? How much was it? Will it happen again? Is there accountability to the people that roads were built for them to use? If it's a farm to market road, we apologize back to the people and we show them that the person that did the road has been disciplined and that this will not happen again. And that is what we want to do when we take over parliament. When we take over the council, it's the same thing, accountability and the rule of law and then executing public contracts as they are described, and that there are boards of people that are in charge of doing council contracts, and this board cross-checks the contract, and if the contract goes wrong, this board is held accountable, not the person that is held accountable. So it is the role of the board to be very, very much accurate, to take out in the right people to do government contracts.
Okay. We are watching a Prime Hour on My Media Prime TV, and our guest is Mr. Foligar Lang, who is the national president of the Cameroon Reformation Party. Do you think that a strong message has been passed to you people, the opposition? You've taken the population for a ride for so long, and they're now telling you that we have alternatives. We can decide on who to vote if you guys are not okay.
Yes,
people fail to listen to us.
No, this is fantastic. If this message has passed, they have passed their message. The people have showed that they can take their decision at any time they want. And this should have been done so many years. We are on 42 years. They have come to the year that is making the increment 50 years in power. And that's when they're passing their decision. They should have passed this decision long ago. Long ago. There's no country in the whole world that's got a leader that is half a century. Cameroon will be the first country in history that has a leader that is half a century in power. We got leaders that have done so fantastic. You know, this creation of divisions, provinces, regions, ministries, directors came during the reign of Solomon the king. And he was not 50 years. He did so much for history. He did so much for democracy. But he was not 50 years. But it is time that Cameroon people have chosen to make a decision when there's a possibility that if they announce this election and the incumbent wins, he's going to be making history in his life. 50 years in power. 50 years for one party. And combined, that will be 23 plus 50, that will be 73 years. That's so massive for two parties, and even indirectly one party to rule a country. So I was begging for them, this particular party, give peace a chance. Let's not accept, if they are going to take the elections and say they have won, that's no trouble at all. Use this government, this shadow cabinet I've created. It concerns every opposition party in this country. Crack down the number of opposition parties in this country and bring them into the government. Let them bring various ideas and various accountability. Cameroon needs accountability. The best thing you could do for Cameroonians is give them accountability on what they are paying for. All the taxes they are paying for, it should be accountable. Cameroon needs that corruption should be cut down to rock bottom low. Once this is cut down, I think this country will breathe. The breath that I've been looking for them to breathe will begin to pass a bit slowly. So that's what we are looking forward to. And that's why I'm advising that whoever is winning the 2025 presidential elections in Cameroon, whoever should look into the government that constitutes most political party leaders, most of them, and that is the creation of the various two camps, the left wing and the right wing. And so we can come to the table and do our campaigns of elections, and the left can win and the right can win. Then that comes to the chain termination that one party runs the country for 73 years.
Yeah, but my question is not about the CPDM. I'm talking more about the opposition. Yeah. Don't you have the impression that the people have sent a strong message to you people, the opposition, to sit up, because seemingly they have been speaking for so many years and you have failed to listen and work according to the expectations?
No, they have not sent to us in particular, because they've tried to send to the government that they could choose somebody else who is working with them, for example.
Yeah,
because,
but they did not choose all the opposition. They have been clamoring for a coalition, but the opposition has refused to do that.
No, the opposition never generally refused. The formality and the time frame, which I said that the government synopsisly selected the people, the candidate they think of their choice to go in for this presidential candidate. That's why the law is very tough to become presidential candidate. They increased the amount of money to 1,000, which was not a problem for Cameroon Reformation Party. They also came and said, if you don't have a council, you don't have a minister, you don't have somebody in a position of power, an elected body, a parliamentarian, a senator, you cannot be candidate. Now they go in. They begin to select, they begin to knock out others, they begin to select, they begin to knock out others. They came to the least most popular, they table their list. And when they table their list, what happens? The people decide to do whatever they want to do. And they have just done it. And there's no way to withdraw. We only have to go ahead. So it is not my fault, it was not the people's fault. But the thing is that when the elecam is selecting, they shouldn't have been selecting the way they selected. If it's a democratic society, they should have even be people that have just decided to become president that are not Cameroonians. How
should the opposition carry themselves after these elections results are made public by the Constitutional Council?
The opposition, first of all, needs to conduct themselves and carefully watch through what has happened. Looking through what has happened means checking their votes, checking what the information they've gathered, checking their preparations towards the election and after the elections and during the elections, and looking carefully on the decision of the Constitutional Council. What have they decided? Why have they decided in that way? Why should they announce it during that period? And what have they announced? Is it true? Is it correct? And what can we tell the people? Can we accept or can we refuse? That doesn't lie perfectly in my hands. That lies perfectly in the hands of those that were candidates. But even though, if they start saying something, they can call all of us as political party leaders to say something. But during this period of the elections, we are not direct candidates. We just lying behind those that we were aligned with. I align behind Serge Espan Matomba. When he will be saying anything, I can tell him that no, I don't accept what you're saying because in my office as your ally, I have these details. So he can say something to support the winner, and I can tell him that I was your ally. I campaigned in about 30 different cities in Cameroon, or 30 different towns and cities. I got this information in my computer, and you got this information, and you're now saying this, and I know that you're lying, for example. So before they say anything, he needs to come to me as well and say, what details have you for these elections? Do you think that what Elecam and the Constitutional Council have said, is it correct? Then I can say yes, or I can say no. But if he says something, and I look through my mobile phones and see that it is not what I have, I can tell him, I was your ally, and the information I have here is not correct. Yeah. And so will do other political parties and their allies.
Okay. But do we really need over 300 political parties in Cameroon?
Do you know how many political parties are there in the UK?
No, answer my question.
No, I'm just asking.
Just go on.
Do you know how many are there in the US? I'm asking big democratic countries. Do you know how many are there in Canada? Do you know how many are there in France? But now we don't need 300. But the nature of rule and transparency and the rule of law has made us to become in the way we are. The government has made Cameroonians to be in that strong man held himself. The strongest man fits while the weak one die. So that is where you find, even when we are driving on the roads, even a small space, somebody just pushed in there without knowing what you were doing. He wants to show his strength, that he wants to cross over before you and move to where he's going, even knowing very well that he will not go even 1 meter without stopping there, and you come and pass him in another way. So what they are doing is that strong man help himself. On the survivor of the fittest, which means the strongest person will fit and the weak one will die. This has pushed Cameroonians not to support one another, but to be showing that they can be boss of themselves politically. Do you know how many versions of support and politics we have in Cameroon when you go to the street as a political party leader and wants to talk with Cameroonians, even in a snack or a cafe or a bar or a restaurant and off license? They will attack you with various scenarios of their ideas that will work and that yours will not work, even though you are a leader of a political party. They will tell you, no, 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 that idea you're saying that it will not work, it will not work. We know that Cameroon is like this, it's going to be like this, it's going to be like that, and we want it to be like this, and what you're saying there is wrong, because everybody is a political entity, and every political person in Cameroon is a politician. So that makes it so difficult. And even the unity they were looking for amongst us makes it so difficult, because it's still part of the survival of the fittest. Strong man help himself. Somebody show the bossiness, the name of his family, the titles he's got in the village, and everything's pushing him ahead of you. Even if you've got the best decision, or the best choices, the best ideas, they will still be looking that, no.
When you look at the scores of our opposition parties, it is true that officially we don't have the results, but the trends can tell where we are. Do you have the impression that they were going with that firm conviction that they were going to win these elections? Are people necessarily engaging in politics in Cameroon because they want to effect change?
When people are when you write an exam, you know that you will pass. 3/4 of the people, when they write exams, they know they will pass. They know they will not have it. Majority of them, they knew they will not have it.
They knew they will not pass.
Majority of them knew they will not pass. Majority will know, not all of them, but majority will know. Those that are saying that they have won knew that they will win, and they can have data to show that they will win, and they should prove to Cameroonians as well. And we are ready to follow when they prove. And we are ready, because when we are going to write an exam, we know whether we will win or we will fail or we will pass. And majority of them, they knew they were not popular. They knew the Cameroon people don't know them very well. They don't know their policies. They don't know their procedures. They don't know what they will give and what they will take. And they knew exactly that they were just going in. If they knew that they will win, they could have already drawn their government like myself and say, look, in my shadow cabinet, I got Mr. Lang as my Minister of Defense, and I got Mr. Leonard, my Prime Minister. I got this as my this and all that. That is how people that know they will win, they will do. But I'm not saying that the opposition cannot win. Those that have won within the opposition knew that they will win, and those that have not won know that they will not win. And that's why it's difficult in Cameroon, within the political context, to know exactly what they want. Why are they going in for what they are looking for? But when we go for elections, if I will go into next year for parliamentary elections, I will know the various regions I will win. Even right now, I can know exactly where I will put my cards and where I will win and where I will not win. I will know. And if it comes that I have not win, I will be proving to you that I think I won, but look at what happened. Because information gathering is very important when you're going in for politics. Information gathering is very important when you want to defend yourself. Information gathering is very important when you want to convince your voters. And it's very important when you want to satisfy your voters, to show that, look at you, you voted for me, look at what I've got here. So we need to gather the right information. So the opposition that went in were carefully selected by Elekam, and they never knew the people very well, and the people never knew them very well. And that's why they carefully selected them and lined them up. And you see the type of points they come up with, the percentages. Some of them from the trends are very, very low, and some are very excellent. And those that are very, very low, they knew. And those that are excellent, they knew.
Okay, they knew. If you knew that you were not going to win these elections, and you have been existing, what would have motivated your participation?
The only way is that, as I just did, I went with an ally. So now we need to just look into that ally and see.
If you people knew that you were not going to win,
I will go with an ally.
You did not have what it takes to cover all the regions. Why were you going?
No, I will go
to show off.
Most of them, they were going to show off. They were going for self-interest. They were going for so many things. I've announced here many times. Most of them goes for self-interest. They go to make themselves known. They're going for public events. They're going for so many things. But as far as we know, in this country is survival of the fittest, strong man help himself, and that's what they were going in for. If I was a candidate and I see that I will not have even 20%, 10%, 15%, I'll go for an ally. And even if I'm having 10%, I'll go for an ally that will have 15. The ally will go for an ally that will have 10. And all will come up to be winners and successful candidates to help this country. And that is what I was tabling out my shadow cabinet, that it will happen like that, and that when people will see their names as ministers, they will know that the vision I got for this country is crystal clear, in diamond clarity, and that all of us will join, and then we go in for a single candidate with one ballot, not multiple ballots.
Are you people into politics here, because I don't want to ask about others, because you are also the president of a party. Are you people into this because you want to fix Cameroon, or you are there to negotiate for contracts or positions, so you are personally interested?
No, I've already told you how many things I've done without even working with this government. This government don't know me. I've never worked with them. No, anybody I know in my family.
But you are also hoping that the government could engage.
Me, I'm a director of my company in the UK. I'm a director of my company. I'm even helping Cameroonians here, give them jobs. I think even here, just recently, I think I've got about 15, 20, 30 people working under me, and I'm paying them. So I'm giving more to the country I love than taking. Even if the government was to appoint me something in this country, the only thing I can take is the Department of Government Transparency, where I have the right to monitor every part of transparency, every contract, every agreement, every movement, police, gendarme, army, any beatings, any torment of anybody, I need to look into. That's the Department of Government Transparency. That's the only thing I can take. But without that, I am fine. I manage, I can eat, I can live, I can manage myself in my own way. But what I'm doing here is the vision is too much for myself, and to achieve this vision is to create a political party. And in creating this political party, I've just listed you so many strange things and very good things that I can give back to the people, that the government of this country, if you lock them into a room for the next 100 years, they will never think around the way I think.
Yeah, but when you look through the political class, you have the impression that everybody is into politics from your prison. They're there because they want to help.
But ask them, do they have businesses? Did they start politics like me? I have employed more than 6,000 people in my life since I was born. I've employed more than 6,000. I've paid more than 6,000 human beings. Ask any one of them. If anybody here in this government, of which is about 42 years, even in other people that are doing business, have they ever employed even 1,000, even 500? When I'm saying 6,000, not currently 6,000, over my life since I was born, I've employed at least 6,000 human beings, wherever they're coming from. So what are they doing? What are their jobs? What are their jobs? Before they go into government, politics is for people that can have bread to eat in their houses. Politics is not to go and look for something to eat. Before you go into politics, be able to feed yourself, be able to look after your family, be able to do things, be able to live and guarantee your life on your own. So that when you go into politics, when something is coming, you can say no. You don't make wrong policies on behalf of, you don't just publicize yourself to be presidential candidate when you know that you are not going to win. You cannot just publicize yourself to be presidential candidate because they will appoint you in a position. But they can appoint me in Cameroon, but I will only beg for the Cameroon government that whether it's whoever wins the elections, I have to be in charge of government transparency. These people of Cameroon need to eat, live happy, get good health, good drinking water, good roads, and good education, and social security, and many more good things. Many good things. We will not even force people to go into the army. People go into the army voluntarily, and when they go into the army, before you leave the army, they must give you a skill that you can go back home and live your life. You live your life with a skill. You can learn carpentry, you can learn bricklaying, you can learn mechanics, you can learn cooking, chef, you can learn so many things, computer science, cyber security, you can learn so many things while you are in the army. You cannot just remain there and be running around in the form of an army. We will give you skills. When you finish there, you come out and deliver the skills, and you get a job, and you carry on living your life. Are those not good things in my policy? Why are they not thinking those things?
The Constitutional Council is going to be declaring the winner of this year's presidential election into this time. And what should be priority after these election results are released?
My priority is to, first of all, see...
No, what do you expect? Because you are not going to... It is true, we are coming back to what your priority is going to be. I mean, what is priority for Cameroonians today?
The priority is, first of all, a democratic society.
Okay.
A democratic society is a society where everybody has the right to speak, and the rule of law prevails. And it's those parameters that brings about peace. We don't want people to sit down and be called peace in Cameroon. We want them to make policies that implement peace once this thing has been announced. They should put regulations that is inclusive with every Cameroonian, young, old, or short, tall, poor, rich, every department. The laws that they should be making for this country, whoever wins, should be making laws that this class of people should be inclusive, and that they should not plea for peace, but they should plea for themselves to make decisions that brings about peace. Peace should not be imposed upon my people, but decisions that brings about peace should be imposed on should be given to my people. So make them not to grumble, make them not to get angry, make them not to ask so many questions less than answers. Give more answers to them than questions that are being given to you, so that when the people lie in their house, they feel proud of the government, of the people, and not of the people of the government. And that is what I want, and that's the most priority that we in the Cameroon Reformation Party are requesting for whoever wins the elections. So we are not looking forward for somebody that will be imposing things that will stir up our people, at the same time stirring them up, giving them tension and nerves, and then asking them to be in peace.
Now, you did not participate. You endorsed your candidate, and seemingly you know his score from the trends that are circulating. Would you be ready to join a government of national unity? Let's say the winner says we want the Reformation Party, Cameroon Reformation Party, to join the government to fix Cameroon. Would you gladly become?
It's not gladly. It's something we need to look into. We got a shadow cabinet here. The shadow cabinet is concise. It reflects Cameroon in miniature, and it reflects Cameroon in the major part of things. So it looks at Cameroon in a greater view. We have come out with everybody that has to give headache and difficulties and challenges, and anybody that sees things in his own way, we've called on those people to come out and join the government, so that we all rule in one dynamics. And in so doing, we split up in two camps. So if they were to offer me any position, I know my vision is so massive, and I know they cannot embrace my vision. I know they cannot accept my love for the people. Not all of them. I don't know who is going to win, but we wish that somebody good should win. If somebody very, very good wins, maybe the Cameroon Reformation Party leader, myself, will be able to look into. There is no other option than only accepting the Department of Government Transparency, which means that to prove that you love this country, you've taken the man that loves the country just like you. I have to be at the hand of looking at every move, any expenses, every contract, everything that people are crying for. I need to look into. Look at the banks. They're doing terrible things. The banks in Cameroon, terrible things. They're just going and taking money from there, signing every little transaction, you pay. To go and ask for your historic, you pay. To go and get a bank card, you pay. To go and withdraw money from your, you pay. Then now yearly charges, you got 8 things you need to pay with the banks. Where is the body that manages the banks, that goes and regulates and give accountability in public to Cameroonians, and even tell Cameroonians that because we've seen that there can be irregularity when finance is concerned, this is the telephone number when you find something you're not happy with the banks. Because we find that the communication becomes so cumbersome, and you can lose some money just like that within the mobile money, and through your telephone conversation. You can put 1,000 now, they tell you it's 1 week, before it's 1 hour, it's gone. You have nobody to complain to. They need to give me Department of Government Transparency, so that I polish these things out, so our people become so lovable and so happy, so that when you have any grievance in communication, you go to an office or a telephone number and say, I just put £1,000 in my account, and the text message has come, I've only made 1 call and I got only £50 left. Then accountability needs to prevail. They're duping them, taking money anytime, and just sending illegal text messages, and even prostitutionizing the thing. Why will a music sing when you call somebody? Do you know you're singing for a child, or you're singing for who? If it's a child that is below 18, you're singing some music that is sexualizing the thing. What do you think you're giving to Cameroonians? This should have been stopped so many years ago. Don't play music when somebody rings and then somebody is just talking and playing some music. You don't know that person has maybe some illness that doesn't make noise. And then you're booming them with music. Where do we see in the Cameroon constitution that a mobile network company needs to play music when somebody calls them? So they are indirectly just making the country look so silly. I myself, if there is any winner in these elections, and they think that I have a very concise vision, the only thing they have to do to me is the Department of Government Transparency. And I will tell you now that they will never beg Cameroonians for peace. They will never ask them to be in peace. They will just see peace flow. Peace will just be flowing around the place. You'll see how much Cameroonians are one of the best people to rule and manage. And they love peace so much, the people. They love when they see a serene environment, they see nice environment, they see happy environment. They even create happiness by themselves, even though they're living in difficulties. So these are one of the best people in the world, that if you give them that light peace, you give them that happiness, you give them that joy, you give them those opportunities. Look at the opportunities we want to create in schools. We want to see who actually creates jobs in Cameroon. Where are those jobs coming from?
Okay, there is actually an atmosphere of uncertainty in Cameroon, going by the calls from different quarters for calm and peace to reign before and after the release of elections. What, according to you, should our traditional rulers objectively and the church be doing today?
I don't want to tell them what to do. I know somebody has created this uncertainty. Somebody must have done something. There must be a button somewhere, or something strange, or some words have been said, or something has gone wrong for uncertainty. Uncertainty has not just sprung up by themselves. Those who think that there's uncertainty and they think that they have done something wrong, or they're trying to do something wrong that will make a situation go bizarre, they should go back to correct that thing before the time comes. They should go back and revisit where that button is and make sure it should be balanced. And then they should start now either doing the same like Issa Chiroma, apologizing for Cameroonians. That we know we have hurt you, and we know you are not happy, and we want to apologize to you that we are sorry, we will not do it again, but please just stay calm for now, and we can guarantee with this as evidence that we will never do it again. Maybe that will abide, and that will go down. But if there's uncertainty, somebody has to press the button somewhere.
Yeah, but what should the church do to now?
The church, there are channels of communication. Those are public speakers. They are good at speaking. They should also send out the type of message I'm sending out now. They should also tell the people that to think about that they're visiting God's house every day, and they want God to take their minds, and they want to go to heaven. That's why they are going to church, and they want God to bless them. And part of the commandments of God does not visit or embrace anger, frustration, wickedness, aggression, transfer of aggression, and all those things. So stay calm, be focused, and listen to your leaders. Maybe somebody who have stirred your anger or frustration will come back to apologize to you. Stay calm. That's what things that the church would do if I were the one. Yeah.
Okay, if you were the one, I hope we have time to take one or two questions from the audience before we leave. In the polling station here, we have voted at Suza. I saw many dead people's names in the electoral list. Peter is writing from Suza. That's what you raised also. Good evening, Mr. Leo. We know what results the Constitutional Council will do. We informed that we are taking no excuses. Okay, we already know who won the elections, and it's enough. We are coming for, okay. Paul is writing from Magba. He says that man has a vision, but we just want a change in this country. Okay. Good evening, sir, and to everyone in the studio. Can the speaker, okay. Mr. Leo, I want to ask the panelists, what will they do as leaders when the Constitutional Council announces what they did not expect? Emmanuel is writing from Kumba.
Yeah, hi Emmanuel. Yeah, that's fine. What we can only do is to denounce that the elections are not correct should the Constitutional Council announce the wrong leader, for example. But to do so, we need to bring evidence of what we have gathered over the period of the elections. Yeah, and the person that has already won the elections that they have announced needs to bring evidence to portray to us that this is what he has done and to merit the win. And also the person that we think that should have won the elections himself needs to portray us with credible evidence for us to denounce that these elections is not correct.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Leo. I want you to ask Mr. Foligar Lang that if, as a citizen of Cameroon, cast my vote, and the government don't not give good reality about what happened in the field, do you think I should continue casting my vote when I come for citizens to do their responsibility and it's not good? Okay. Understand what he's saying.
Yeah,
good evening. Let me take one. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Charles from Tico. Mr. Liu, I am not surprised of what the government is doing. in these elections. It's clean and clear for the winning of a candidate, sir. What I will say is that what your man is preaching is just okay. Yes.
Yeah, what I wanted to say to that guy, you cannot withdraw your votes when the government has announced the election or the Constitutional Council have announced the elections, and you think that is not correct and you voted. It doesn't deter you from voting next time. They rightly say, even in primary school, that if you try and don't succeed, try again. So we never know when it will change. That people like myself now coming up in a transparent manner, and that we're doing all the best that we could come and help this country in any way that we could do. Because we think that there must be somebody that has come and help this country. When the time comes, why will you say you cannot go and vote? So when you try and don't succeed, try and try again. Okay,
try and try again. Tomorrow we are coming back to look at what is making news. We know that we had some issues like issues in Yaoundé today, where we had some manifestations of some young persons who came out. Though the situation was brought under control by the police and gendarmes, we also had reports of similar incidences in the north, where it is alleged that a lady was killed, a teacher was killed in Garwa. Today we're going to monitor the situation, and tomorrow 7 p.m. on Prime Hour we're going to be discussing on what is making news as far as these elections are concerned in Cameroon. Thank you, Mr. Foligar, for coming.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And nice to meet you.
And to all of you, thank you for watching, especially gratitude to the production team for the program for tonight. We say stay blessed. Bye-bye.